Something changes in a child before anyone notices. Not suddenly, not loudly. It happens quietly. One day they laugh at everything. The next, they smile a little less. Then they stop smiling at dinner. They stop talking in the car. They say, "I'm fine," faster than usual. And the strange part? Nothing big happened. No fight, no punishment, no obvious reason. But something inside them shifted. And most parents don't notice it until much later, until they look back and think, when did my child stop smiling? This is Lily's story, but it might also be someone else's, maybe even yours. Lily was 6 years old. She loved silly jokes. She laughed at things that weren't even funny. If her dad tripped on a toy, she laughed. If her brother made a weird face, she laughed. Her smile filled the whole house. Breakfast was noisy. "Dad, Max took my pancake." Max would laugh. Dad would pretend to be shocked. "Max, pancake thief." Mom would shake her head and smile. It was chaotic, but warm. Normal family mornings. But one morning, something felt different. Not dramatic, just quiet. Lily sat at the table. She ate slowly. No jokes, no giggles. Dad noticed first. "Hey, Lily, did something happen at school yesterday?" She shrugged. "No." Mom looked over. "You're quiet today." "I'm just tired." Simple answer. Everyone moved on. Kids get tired. Kids have moods. But the next day, the same thing happened. And the day after that. Less laughing, less talking. More, "I'm fine." More silence. Now, here's something important most people don't realize. Children don't suddenly stop smiling for no reason. They stop when they start feeling something they don't understand. Something heavy, something confusing, something they think they shouldn't talk about. Children are extremely good observers. They notice tone. They notice tension. They notice the things adults think they're hiding. Even small moments, especially small moments. And sometimes those moments plant quiet thoughts in a child's mind. Thoughts like, maybe I did something wrong. Maybe I'm annoying. Maybe it's better if I stay quiet. A few days before Lily stopped smiling, something small happened. Something most adults would forget in minutes. Dad came home late from work. He was tired, really tired. His head was full of unfinished emails and deadlines. Lily ran to the door like she always did. "Dad, Dad, guess what happened today?" She talked fast, excited, words tumbling out. Dad dropped his bag. Not angry, just exhausted. "Lily, not right now, okay? Daddy had a long day." That was it. No yelling, no harsh words, just a tired sentence. But Lily froze for a second. Her excitement paused in the air. "Oh, okay." She walked away, and Dad didn't notice the way her shoulders dropped, because adults are often looking at the big moments, but children remember the quiet ones. Pause for a second. Think about your childhood. Was there ever a moment like that? A moment that seemed small to everyone else, but stayed in your mind for years? Maybe a teacher who laughed when you answered wrong. Maybe a parent who said, "Stop being so sensitive." Maybe a friend who ignored you in front of others. Just one moment. Sometimes that's all it takes. Not to break someone, but to change how safe they feel expressing themselves. Back to Lily. After that day, something subtle shifted. She started thinking before speaking. Before she ran to tell her dad something, a thought appeared. What if he's tired again? What if I'm bothering him? Children don't analyze these thoughts. They feel them, and feelings slowly shape behavior. So Lily started doing something many sensitive children learn to do. She became quieter, safer, less expressive, less noticeable. At school, she still smiled sometimes, but at home, she talked less. Dinner conversations passed without her stories. Her parents noticed the silence, but they assumed it was just a phase, because adults are busy, work, bills, schedules, And sometimes we only realize what happened when the change becomes obvious. One night, Dad noticed something else. Lily was drawing at the table. Usually, her drawings were full of bright colors, sun, flowers, big smiling stick figures. But this drawing was different. A small girl, standing next to a tall adult. The girl had no mouth, just blank space where the smile should be. Dad looked closer. "Who is this?" "That's me." "And who's that?" "You." He smiled a little. "But why doesn't Lily have a mouth?" She shrugged. "I forgot to draw it." But something about that answer didn't feel right, because kids rarely forget the smile, especially Lily. Here's something powerful about children. They don't always tell you how they feel. They show you. Through drawings, through silence, through the things they stop doing. Dad couldn't stop thinking about that drawing. That night, he sat in Lily's room while she played with her toys. Quiet moment. No pressure, no interrogation, just presence. After a few minutes, he asked softly, "Lily, can I ask you something?" She nodded. "Why have you been so quiet lately?" Long pause. Kids need time. Finally, she said something small, something honest. "I don't want to bother you." Dad blinked. "What do you mean?" "You were tired that day, and I was talking too much." And suddenly, that tiny moment from days ago came rushing back to him. The door, her excitement, his tired voice. Not right now. A normal sentence, a forgettable moment, for him, but not for her. Pause again, because this is where many people realize something uncomfortable. We remember maybe 10% of the things we say, but the people we love remember the 1% that hurts. Dad felt a knot in his chest. "Lily, you never bother me. You can always tell me things." She looked uncertain. Kids trust patterns more than promises. They watch behavior, not words. So Dad did something simple. He listened, really listened. She told him about school, about a bug she found outside, about Max stealing her crayons. And slowly, the words started flowing again. Then something small happened. She laughed, just a tiny laugh, but it was the first one in days. Now, here's the deeper insight most people miss. Children don't need perfect parents. Perfect parents don't exist. Children need repair. Moments where adults notice something broke and choose to reconnect. That night, Dad said something important. "I'm sorry I made you feel like you were bothering me." Her eyes widened. Adults rarely say sorry to kids. "But you're the best part of my day, even when I'm tired." She looked at him carefully. Then she smiled. Not a big one, but real. And sometimes that's enough to reopen a door that was starting to close. Over the next week, something changed again. Lily started telling stories at dinner. She laughed when Max spilled milk. She ran to the door when Dad came home. The house felt lighter. Not because the family became perfect, but because someone noticed the silence early enough. And here's the truth many people carry into adulthood. Some children stop smiling and no one ever asks why. They grow up learning something quietly. Be less. Be quieter. Don't be too much. And years later, they become adults who apologize for existing. Adults who overthink every word. Adults who say, "I'm fine," even when they're not. Maybe you know that feeling. Maybe you learned to shrink a little too. But here's the hopeful part. What hurt in silence can also heal in connection. Sometimes all it takes is someone noticing, someone asking gently, someone saying, "You're not too much. You never were." Lily didn't stop smiling because something terrible happened. She stopped because she thought she should, because she didn't want to be a burden. And many sensitive people learn that lesson very early. But when someone sees the change, when someone listens, when someone repairs the moment, the smile comes back. So if someone in your life suddenly gets quieter, a child, a friend, a partner, don't assume everything is fine. Pay attention to the small changes. Ask softly. Listen fully. Because sometimes the biggest emotional shifts begin with the smallest moments. And sometimes one caring conversation can bring a smile back.